Hello everyone! Today we're going to be talking about factoring trinomials. Now this first case we're going to look at is a fairly straightforward example. In this case we have no coefficient on the x squared term, so that means our coefficient is going to be 1. Now in order to factor this trinomial, we want to identify the b term and the c term, which in this case are going to be 4 and 3 respectively. And what we want to do is find two numbers that will fit the following criteria. They have to add to 4, and they have to multiply to 3. And in order to find these two numbers that fit this criteria, we're going to start by listing the factors of 3. Now in this case our work is relatively easy because there are only two factors of 3, 3 and 1. 3 times 1 is going to be equal to 3. So we'll see here on the left side we're going to want to list all of our factors of 3. And on the right side we're going to want to figure out what the sum of those factors are. And in this case, 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 plus 1 is 4. So we add to 4 and we multiply to 3. So 3 and 1 are going to be the two numbers that fit these criteria that we're looking to fit. Once we find these two numbers, we want to use them to break up our b term. And we're going to break up our b term giving it the coefficients of the two numbers that we just found. So in other words, we're going to take our 4x term and we're going to rewrite it. We're going to rewrite it as 3x plus 1x, or 1x plus 3x, depending on which order you need the numbers in. So we'll see here, if we write the 3 term first, if we write 3x first, we're going to run into trouble with factoring the second group. So it's going to be important to make sure that the 3 term goes with the 3 constant and not the other way around. This will enable us to factor 3 out later on. So what we've done is we've turned our trinomial into a polynomial of 4 terms. And with a polynomial of 4 terms, the common technique that's used to factor it is factoring by grouping. And that's the technique that we're going to be looking to implement here. So we want to break up our polynomial of 4 terms into two groups of 2 terms. And you'll see those here in green and orange parentheses. So now we want to factor each of our groups individually. So we're going to take an x out of the green set of parentheses. And when we do that, it leaves us with x plus 1 inside the parentheses. We also want to factor the orange set of parentheses, and the common term in the orange set is going to be 3. So we're going to factor a 3 out of the orange set of parentheses, and when we do that, we're going to find that we also have x plus 1 left over inside the parentheses. Now take a second to look at the expression inside of both the green set of parentheses and the orange set of parentheses. They're both equal to x plus 1. This is what we need to happen in order to continue factoring this expression. If you find that your terms are different inside the parentheses, you may want to go back and check your work. This is because the next step that we're going to do requires us to factor x plus 1 out of both terms. So we can see here that the green underlined term is going to be factored out, and what's left over is going to be x and 3. So those terms are going to go in the second set of parentheses. So we're going to have x plus 1 times x plus 3. Now, if you felt like it, you would be able to multiply these two terms together by distributing using the FOIL technique, first, outer, inner, last, and by doing so, you would actually discover that you would get back to the original trinomial that we started with, x squared plus 4x plus 3. This should always be the case, so this is always a good way to check your work, and if it doesn't add up, then you want to look back at your work. All right, that's it for today. Good luck with your math studies.